He's asking right here, what are your thoughts on last year's players such as Redding and Peyton as big receivers jumping Wiggins a lot, nobody keeping Romello off the field long?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. We're throwing numbers at the wide receiver problem to try to fix the problem. I've said it before, I've said it again. You know that Mark Pope and D. Wiggins had the highest drop rates of any receivers with, any kind of game usage in America last year. We know that. So, yeah, you got, Peyton, who got injured last year. Maybe he's a guy. Redding, Romello Brinson in this recruiting class right here, Jacoby George. Obviously, you bring in Charleston Rambo, and he's going to start. But, I mean, we have so many guys on scholarship at wide receiver. Something got to shake. And either it's 6 and 7 actually developing and catching the ball, or it's one of these other guys when they continue to drop the ball and they slide down the depth chart and the rotation in practice. Hopefully these other guys can step up during games. But yeah, I'm confident that your top 3 will be Keyshawn Smith, my guy. Who's still jumping out of the sky into the moon or whatever he was doing in that vertical leap. It was crazy. Him, Mike Harley, Charleston Rambo, Will Mallory at tight end. That's your top 4 pass receivers. Set it and forget it. And hopefully you get another 4 behind them that can rotate in. And then maybe 4 or 5 or 6 so that you have a little bit of diversity of skill sets. So if somebody gets dinged or whatever, the other guy can come in. But that's what I want to see. And to me at this point, and I know that obviously you're somebody from on 79th Street. Wait, no, not 79th. It's 93rd, excuse me, Miami Northwestern. Wait, no, 79th is Northwestern because Miami Central is north of Northwestern. It's crazy. I forget that. But 79th Street and everything. Hey, that's cool. I know that you're rooting for Romello Brinson. I don't care the name of the person. I just need the job to get done. And hopefully with the numbers that we have at wide receiver, that's able to happen. Yeah, that's a guy who could play safety, striker, nickel, outside corner, being recruited by SEC teams. I would definitely take Nick Cull on my team. Go watch those highlights. I would definitely take him on my team. It's coming to the point now, if we get Fegans and we have 3 at cornerback in this class, are you going to take another corner? Are you recruiting at safety? Are you going to go somewhere else? You're getting to the point where, you really have to start balancing and choosing. For me, if you're able to get both of the Henderson twins, Jakari and Damari, one plays safety, one plays corner, but the corner can probably grow into safety and the safety can grow into a bigger safety or striker, I might probably take the Henderson twins over Cull. Even though I know Cull is the better player now, those twins are bigger and more athletic, and they might end up being better players down the line. But Nick Cull is a guy who's on the radar. Nick Cull is a guy who it's coming to the point where we have to kind of decide which way we're going to go with the recruiting class. But and I think some of those projections were a little earlier because it did look like he was going to commit to Miami a while back. But we'll see how that plays out from now.
We know the answer to this question.
Do we?
Sure we do. You're a guy that likes swag and trash talk.
Yeah, but a lion does not concern themselves with the opinions of sheep either.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I would only. So the question from D. Revley is: ask him, do we remain humble or talk trash to FSU once we pass them in the rankings for recruiting?
Sorry,
No. You're good. I was almost at the end of it, but this whole time I've said that we're not going to end up where we are, and they're not going to end up where they are. They're building an Al Golden special class. We got a couple guys at the top and a whole bunch of probably shouldn't even be offered or going to sign with that school. Miami had a lot of those, and go look at their list. The top of that class is nice for Florida State. The top 3, maybe 4, real nice. The rest of them dudes, JAG, just a guy, or just JSG, just some guys. Okay, they're a whole bunch of 3-stars, and see people talking about, oh yeah, he's going to recruit like Memphis. Yeah, and honestly, I think he recruited better when he was at Memphis, to be perfectly honest. So Florida State's not going to end where they are in the recruiting rankings, and Miami's not going to end where we were in the 80s or something, and Miami has like the 5th or 6th highest per player recruiting average ranking in America this cycle. Like, the guys that we're getting are guys of quality. And yes, it's taking a little bit longer for us to fill this class, but again, you're only looking at 19 to 20, maybe 21. You're saving some room for some transfers and probably counting somebody forward from last year anyway, if you're operating off of, that. So, no, I don't need to concern. And that's what I'm saying. Like, let them talk. Let them shout. We've seen this movie. Miami had the number 1 rated class every year that Al Golden worked here. Go look it up. But it was for the next year's class, right? So, like, we finished or whatever, and then the next year's class was ranked number 1, and we got all these guys, and then that was decommitment U, and then things slipped up, and you get your, top 20, top 15, and then they sign, and the next year's class is number 1, and this is that. Okay, it's current year, but like, they're way inflated, and it's going to come down. When other teams start signing guys and everything, and the 3-stars, the preponderance of 3-stars on their recruiting list is taken into an account. So, I know that my boy Kev, shout out to 561 Kev, was talking about the fact that Manny Diaz's fake momentum statement really got under their skin at Florida State, and they're hurt by that, boy. Hit dogs hollering all up and down the timeline. You got credentialed journalists and media members from Florida State, hashtagging fake momentum and things like that because Manny Diaz got under their skin by saying that, and they know that that's what it is. And again, a hit dog gonna holler, and they hollering and barking over there. But we beat them by 6 touchdowns last year. We're going to beat them by 5 or 6 touchdowns this year, and we're going to keep it pushing. And we're going to end with a higher rated recruiting class. They're going to see some decommitments and some other guys that just, get cycled out, but they're not going to replace them with All-Americans. That's just how it works. So at the end of the day, you're going to see what it is, and then we're going to talk about it then. And otherwise, they can keep chirping because games got to get played, and you're going to get this ass whooping when we come up there.
I'm going to attempt to think like the typical fan, and I don't say that in some kind of high and mighty way. It's been proven throughout the years. I don't think like the typical fan, but I'm putting myself in that place either as a Florida State or a Miami fan. So Miami's won this game 4 consecutive years, and 5 looks almost certain. Okay, so I'll play out a scenario in which, let's say, Florida State hangs on to some semblance of this class and they finish 15th in the rankings, the recruiting rankings. Miami finishes 17th in the recruiting rankings, and Miami wins another game by 4 or 5 touchdowns. That's 5 consecutive games. Is that really enough for a Florida State fan to bow their chest and beat their chest about a recruiting class that's 2 or 3 spots higher than Miami? I know right now it's like number 8 in the country, and Miami's, I don't even know where it is, but it doesn't really matter. Like I don't know.
58th, but we're going to move up when we get Fegans tomorrow. So
I understand to a certain extent, although this wouldn't be me. If you bring in the 3rd best class in the country and your arch rival brings in the 35th best class in the country, even if they beat your brains out again, you can say, okay, well, this is going to end. Look at what we just did. I still wouldn't be that guy, because I'd be like, we lost 5 consecutive games. So until these guys actually get on campus and make a mark, and you got to put those recruiting classes obviously on top of each other. All right. But it's fun to observe. That's all I do, and try to moderate it.